Update: my girlfriend just gave birth to our first child. But I know I'm not the biological father, and I revealed I knew as soon as she gave birth. Original post. I'll try to keep this short because I'm planning to go to a bar soon. I found out when she was about 6 months along. The guy Brian approached me at my work. "Are you Sarah's boyfriend?" I said yeah, and asked what he wanted. He said he was sorry that he had slept with her and swore he didn't know that she was with someone. I don't believe that. He then pulled out his phone to show the texts between them. They had been sleeping together or linking up for at least a year. Then she found out she was pregnant, and they came to an agreement to just pretend the baby was mine. In return, she wouldn't lose her perfect life, and he wouldn't be responsible for a baby. I knew it was weird. We had been having problems trying for a baby, and all of a sudden she got pregnant so easily. But he explained that he had been thinking about it, and he recently became a Christian. He said that he couldn't live his life knowing that I was living a lie, while his child didn't know their real father. So yeah, I told him I'd keep in touch, and to not say that he said anything just yet. I've had a lot of time to think, but ultimately I decided to wait until she gave birth, to hurt her in her most vulnerable moment. I'll spare the details, but she went into labor, baby was born, and was taken to the NICU to be monitored for a bit. What should have been a beautiful moment of me holding my baby was the most heartbreaking time of my life. Just knowing he was not mine hurt me. Once she was sewn up and comfortable, I started packing up my stuff to leave. She asked where I was going, and I just told her. I know I'm not the baby's father. You can act all shocked, but I know. Just ask Brian to come. I'm positive he'll sign the birth certificate. Then I left. She's been calling my phone over and over, even sending texts as I type this, and has even gotten her sister to call me a few times. It was hard pretending these last few months, but I think I'm satisfied. I feel really heartbroken though. I was planning to propose to her on the day our baby was born. I was gonna make her the happiest woman ever. Oh well, I'm going to go get really drunk now. I did a sigh of relief when I saw you're not married to this woman. Take power from that. You can move on much easily. Same, good riddance. I'm so sorry. No one deserves this. The nonsense she pulled is absolutely evil. It will get better with time, and you will be happy again with someone who deserves you. Go ahead and let her and Brian deal with this situation on their own. Get a DNA test just to be 100% sure the child isn't yours. But you did the right thing leaving her. Make sure you have the text from Brian so she can't twist the narrative. You also need the DNA test so she can't put you on child support. Because if you're in the USA, it'll be hard to get you off it once the courts deem you the father. I'm like 110% sure that's not my kid just from looking at him, but I'll get the test. I get that, but it'd just be on the safe side. You wouldn't want to find out 10 years later that it's yours, and you missed out on all the time and moments with the child. It won't hurt having something definitive that says you aren't the father. I plotted revenge against my ex-husband when I found out he was cheating on me when I was pregnant with our son. It felt good in the moment to stick it to him by telling the husband of his mistress what went on, but I was still miserable. It's been 3 years and I'm still in therapy for what he did. Best of luck, Opie. I hope you get therapy too. How exactly did you get revenge? I told the husband of his mistress that his wife was cheating on him. I made a viral video about it on TikTok, so it got back to his family. He's in the military, so he also got kicked out of base housing after I left with our kids. First update. Head hurts, but I'm home and safe. I'll clear up a few things. Brian is going to be in the baby's life if it's his. I don't care what anyone says. I'm sure the kid isn't mine. I'll go get tested, but me and Brian have been in contact since last night, and there isn't a doubt in my mind. For those of you calling me a psychopath or whatever, I don't really care. You'll all forget about this post in a day anyway, while I'll have to live with this nightmare for the rest of my life. What I did wasn't amazing, but I don't care. All I ever did was treat her amazing, and this is how she pays me back? If you think this is fake, go read something else. Doesn't matter to me. Second update. Hi everyone. I just wanted to start by saying I would have updated sooner, but it takes a bit to get test results back. I've also been working on myself for the time being. Thanks for all the support. I'll cut to the chase. I am not the father, but I already knew that already deep down. Brian and the baby are a match, so that pretty much answers that question. He's very excited to be a dad, even despite the circumstances. We've kept in touch this whole time, and he's actually a really great guy. Goes to church now, volunteers at shelters, etc. I'm not sure if we'll continue to stay in touch after this, but I wouldn't mind getting a drink with him every once in a while. I hope the kid does great in life. He should be, with Brian as his dad. As for Sarah, around the time I posted, she had asked Brian to be with her officially since there was nothing to hide. As far as I know, he has not taken her up on that offer and just wants to co-parent for the sake of being in his kid's life. I think that's very smart of him, honestly. Me and her have talked as well. We talked about where it all went wrong. She felt as though I wasn't there for her fully and just felt unfulfilled, which I understand. I wasn't always the best guy, but I treated her the best I could. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. She started crying and I did give her a hug, but I made sure she knew it wasn't because I cared about her. She's offered to stay friends and for me to visit if I want, but I declined. I'm not really interested in keeping up with her and her kid, but I did give her the stuffed animal I was planning to give our kid someday as a gift. She's been staying with her mom and has fully moved out her stuff. She asked me to keep her number, but I blocked her the same day she finished moving out. So it's just me now. I'm not gonna lie, my heart has been super heavy, but I think I'll be okay. There's a cute girl at my work and we've been talking. She's a single mom and has been awesome so far. I explained that I wanted to go slow because of my recent breakup and she understands. We've hooked up once or twice, nothing serious yet. I just want to be by myself for now, but I'll likely give her a shot when I'm ready. That's it for now. I'm depressed, but I'm working out now at least. I never want to talk to Sarah and will likely never see her again. It sucks because she was such a big part of my life, but that's gone now. Thanks for all the support. I'll answer questions if you guys have more. Edit. Just wanted to mention that I still don't feel bad about what I did. I can tell she's still hurting, but I definitely think it's deserved still. You handled that all incredibly well. I'm glad you gave us an update because this internet stranger was concerned and rooting for you. Everything meant for you will find you, and you'll be a great partner and parent if you want one day. Hang in there. Yeah, you got this. We've all been through our fair share of trauma, and we always overcome them because we grow and move on. It'll be a long process, but it'll be worth it. I believe in you, and I know for a fact that everything bad happened to you will be compensated in the form of everything good. In the meantime, if you don't mind watching some Netflix, do watch BoJack Horseman. I don't know why, but it really helped me when I was going through my depression phase, and I really hope it at least contributes minutely to your healing process, if not entirely. And remember that this community got you, fam. Just to let you know, her excuse for cheating is so BS. If her needs weren't fulfilled, she should have communicated that, instead of lying and waiting to find out if she could get away with cheating or not. OP, you handled this so well, and I wish you peace in the mind. My ex-wife used this same excuse, but she was cheating even before we got married. She was an emotionally abusive woman as well, which caused other issues. Cheating is never an answer. Good luck. Just felt I should mention though, that repeatedly hooking up with a single mom from work is not moving slowly or carefully. If you really want to heal from your last relationship, I'd advise foregoing intimacy in favor of being single and hanging out with friends. Also, if you're feeling at loose ends, confused, etc., do a nice single mom a favor by being careful not to give any impression that you're developing feelings for her if you're honestly not interested in anything lasting. More people say they can do strictly FWB than can actually do it. Yeah, I definitely don't want to add more drama to her life, with her being a mom and everything. I am interested in her. I just want to focus on getting myself in a good spot, so I don't drag any baggage into my next relationship. The intimacy was her idea mostly. She said she was fine with casual stuff. I'd definitely be honest with her if I completely wanted to stop seeing her or didn't think it would go long term. Sounds very similar to my experience once upon a time. I was just out of a rough breakup and started a FWB thing with a single mom coworker. Kept it on the down low for 2 years. It was a relationship anarchy kind of thing. Came time for me to move for another job and decided I'd miss her too much. We've been married now for 16 years. It's crazy, but it can totally work if you want it to. Third update. I keep getting DMs asking me to update, so here's one. Been roughly 8 months. No, I don't talk to Sarah. Screw Sarah. Haven't seen her. Last I heard, she moved 3 hours away with her mom to be closer to some family. I kept seeing her around town a lot, so I'm beyond grateful she's gone. She would attempt to have conversations with me sometimes in the first month after she gave birth, but that soon stopped. As for Brian, we text occasionally, and we did go out for that beer. He overall seems happy to be a father, but we don't talk about Sarah. I don't keep up much with him anyways. We're both hardworking men with jobs, kids, and lives to live, so it's kinda hard to keep up. I don't think they're together at all, but who knows? Speaking of kids, the woman who was a single mom that I started seeing, we're still together. Her kid is awesome, and I love being her stepdad, to be honest. So a big middle finger to those who told me to stop talking to her or that it wasn't gonna work. It may seem like we moved fast, but at this point, I don't care. I've never loved anyone more. We communicate properly, hardly fight, just so much fun. I initially was gonna cut all contact with her after falling off into a bad drinking habit, but she really kept me grounded. I didn't meet my stepdaughter for a while, but when I did, I knew I couldn't leave. Being a part of this little family has healed me in ways I literally can't fathom. And before anyone says I just used them to deal with the trauma of not having my own kid, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm in therapy, I got my act together, and most days I don't even think about my ex. Hell, I even forgot about this damn account. Words cannot describe how much my life has picked up. Thank you, Reddit strangers, for being there in the darkest time in my life. Honestly, it helped. Hoping to propose to my girlfriend sometime in the future. That's it, bye. He says he's doing great in the update, but the more he justifies himself, the worse it all sounds. Like, yeah, I may have moved on too fast, and I am already a stepfather to this child. It's been 8 months, people, and I may have had a drinking problem my new partner saved me from, but I am doing great. Great, I say. The only glimmer of hope is that he says he's in therapy. Above all else, let's hope he keeps that up. I cringed when I saw that stepfather line. Yeah, dude didn't want to just replace his girlfriend, he wanted to replace the kid he thought he was gonna have. It kinda sounds like the freaking kid is a rebound too. I really hope it turns out okay for the kid's sake. So Sarah moved 3 hours away, and Brian is a single dad, or he's driving 3 hours to visit his son. Happened to my brother. His baby mama had to move home with her mom about 2.5 hours away because she couldn't afford a place. They'd meet halfway every week to swap the kid. That's not unheard of. My dad moved 3 hours away after the divorce, and my parents would meet in the middle for custody exchange at a Carl's Jr. I hated the trip, but I usually got a shake out of it. My wife is pregnant, but she cheated on me, and our first kid isn't even mine. I was out for a work trip that was going to last a week. Before I left, we installed the camera doorbell system so I could see if something was happening while I was gone. She thought the system only worked if somebody pressed on it to start recording, but it's motion detected. While I was gone, I kept getting notifications on it. I finally got one of her and my son leaving the house. I got another one an hour later of just her kissing on another dude while going into the house. I called her to ask what she was doing, but she lied and said just relaxing. I knew from that moment this was going to get ugly. I came home and didn't question her about it. I was deciding my next move when she told me she was pregnant. The math was adding up, but I played along. I then decided to take my son for a DNA test, and obviously we aren't related. Wife doesn't know what I know. She thinks everything is perfect. She walking around excited about the new addition to the family, telling everybody the good news about our second kid. She doesn't know I'm searching for a lawyer as we speak, and both of our lives are about to be ruined. Be proactive. You may be legally recognized as the father by the state and could be on the hook for child support even though the kid isn't yours. Wait, seriously? How does that happen? Is it because they're married? Yes. If she refuses to admit the kid is someone else's, the state will deem him the child's father due to their marital status, and the state is interested in ensuring someone has responsibility financially. Can the father press charges on the mother for paternity fraud? If she knew the child wasn't his but tried to pass them off as such? In the US, paternity fraud is not a crime, so there are no charges to press. He could sue her, but he'd have to prove she knew, not just suspected, that the child was not his. This is notoriously difficult to do, and from what I understand, seldom results in the mother being found liable. As far as the court is concerned, the child has a father, the man who's been raising him. The reasoning is that there's more to being a parent than DNA, as any adoptive parent would tell us. All of this may seem grossly unfair to the husband, but again, the court is most concerned with the welfare of the child, who's had a father, bio or not. It's not about the wife winning or getting her way. It's about the bond between father, the one who's always been there, and the son, and the father's right to have that bond, and either full or shared custody. In some states, you have a reprieve. Paternity fraud just became illegal in Tennessee, for example. Passing off another man's child as somebody else's is the most diabolical thing to do to another human being. Your strength is astonishing, I give you that. Stay strong, man, I wish you the best. This is why I believe paternity tests should be standard procedure for a birth. I was reading last week that paternity tests are illegal in France, and 2/3 of all tests in Switzerland and Spain are French men/women getting tested in secret. It's considered by the government to be honorable and a privilege, instead of merely biological.